Chat, we have a new record. 37 health. My wait screen, this screen, is messed up. Because I messed with the camera, I need to correct this. I'll fix that off stream. Hopefully, when I go to edit this video, it'll be a reminder, because I'm confident I will forget. But we'll switch real quick. I also need to build some custom transitions. I had a lot on my to-do list today, chat, and truthfully, today was tough. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, was it a health thing or what the story was? But the bottom line is I just didn't feel right, like, all day. And I'm not sure exactly what was causing it. And this isn't trying to garner sympathy or something. This is just putting it out there why the stream title is Super Tired, because I feel like my volume is lower. Like, me, personally, that I didn't adjust. I lowered the game volume. It could just be I'm not yelling as loud as I normally am. I mean, that is possible. I'm just super tired today. We had a later stream night last night, and that's part of it. I don't know. I honestly felt like low blood sugar all day. You know, like you're super hungry and, you know, you just don't feel right and you feel lethargic and stuff like that. But it didn't matter how much I ate. I was still feeling awful. So I just kind of like ambled around all day, didn't really accomplish anything that I wanted to do, which is a little unfortunate because there's a bunch of projects I got to do. I swear I woke up early trying to work out to build energy and motivation for the day. Yeah, I used to do that. It's been a long time since I did that sort of stuff. It's tough, Jay. I like how he presumes we have sympathy for him. I didn't assume anybody did. It was more clarification that I wasn't trying to garner sympathy. Because I just don't care. I got Doom from 3K Tears Pack and had a quest that got my jar to level 11. Nice, Forgo. Nice. That's a good start. That's a good start. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. All right, chat. We may end up doing more game reviews than I normally do tonight. Am I ready for the season pack? Yes, I'm kind of ready for the season to roll over. But at the same time, I'm not relishing the idea of trying to grind another 168 games. So I have 13 games here, right? I don't think I'm even going to take my next turn until Monday. Because that way all of these games will finish in the new season. So quiet? Does anybody else feel I'm quiet? I'm looking at the sound and it's showing as normal. Like in my mixer. That reminds me I should at least make sure I got to 56 games and not earn the full season pack. It's fine. Now he's just shouting. Oh, he's just now shouting. I mean, the volume seems to be okay. I can try and play with stuff, but I imagine if I push it up any farther, it's going to start blowing out people's ears. Now it should have been not. He's just not shouting. Gotcha. Okay. We've established what Doctor is trying to communicate. Yeah, I think it's just, I'm just not yelling right now because, like I said, I feel tired. You know what I did, chat? Honestly, here, we'll switch scenes. So this scene that was up the other day, I did solve why, because I was messing around with hotkeys, and I solved why I switched accidentally out of the countdown screen yesterday, because I did it again today, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, and it's because OBS will still read the keyboard shortcuts even when it's not in focus. So what ended up happening is I changed a hotkey to be like Shift 2. So it was on the @ key. So when I do @Phobies game, when I tweet, that sort of thing, that's what was doing it. But this was the other thing I was doing off stream chat. You probably won't be able to see this because he's actually green and obviously green screen. But this is the Lightning Collection Shredder. Basically, there was a crossover between Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't give a damn about the Power Rangers, but this Shredder looks spectacular. And it has a great articulation and stuff. I know we're off topic for Phobies, but the reason why I actually got 2 of these Shredders because I want to try and kit bash one of them. Basically, I'm either going to paint it or swap out the parts with, say, the Black Ranger and make it look like the IDW Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. Because obviously right now he's very green. And purple, but mostly green. But anyway, so I have to figure out, because disassembling the knees here, which, again, I don't think anybody's really going to be able to see, is just going to be an ordeal, I think. I've never done this before, and I want to try it. That's why I got 2, because that way if I destroy the figure, I still have it. But I was trying to research that, because I would love to try and mess around with some of the stuff. A lot of the G.I. Joe stuff, like I have Crocmaster here, who we talked about before. Excuse me. And a lot of the parts seem interchangeable, because they're all just on mushroom pegs, they're all on ball joints, and they're all basically the same base figure. So we'll see if I can manage to do it. I'll keep people appraised of progress in case anybody cares. I'm sure no one does. You're saving for 100,000 tiers. 4K. Like, real talk, why would you do that? That makes no sense. But for anybody who wasn't aware, the next stress level phobia, and I'm trying to see if we can find... There we go. Vladimir apparently has now unlocked Sasquatch, hit level 120, and there are some screenshots floating around of Sasquatch in-game. They're in Spanish, so I don't know exactly what the text is. I've obviously requested a official screenshot or official image from the devs. Haven't heard back yet, but it's the weekend, so... but the screenshot, the person they're playing against, I thought that even frenemies matches show. So I don't know if that screenshot is... I'm not trying to say it's doctored and made up, but that person is not on their list. So maybe it's an active game still, and that's the reason. So somebody screenshotted it, just threw it in there. I don't know if, say, an active async game would show. That's the only thing I could think of. Because, I mean, we can check this game, because these games are actually with Vladimir at 120. I spent 40k tiers and got no new phobies. So it does make sense. It boosts the possibility for a new phobia, I guess. But you're still taking, you know, if you open 10 packs now, and then you bank and open 10 packs a month from now, or however long it's going to take, I mean, you're just getting more packs. It's not increasing the odds overall. It's increasing the odds in that particular session of opening packs. This is only a 4-turn game. I'm just skimming these real quick to see if we can see the Sasquatch. Ironically, it has invisibility, so it wouldn't make sense to be able to see it. These look like quest games, truthfully. There's a Glob, if anybody was curious about Glob. I do want to try Glob out. I've only seen it in play in a game I was in once, and I was able to pull it out despite me throwing almost catastrophically. And basically, I had 2 phobies. They only had Glob left, and I was able to just walk around the board because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't actually, you know, attack my heart with it. We're just skimming, like I said, to see if Sasquatch shows up. Nope. No Sasquatch. So that other game must be an active game at the moment, and one of the two players posted it. Because I also checked the other player's profile. I don't remember what their name was. But I checked their profile. Excuse me. And I couldn't find it there either. It's because I have 95 phobies. The bigger the collection, the harder it is to get new phobies. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because odds are you're gonna... I mean, at this stage, you're over half, so, you know, you're gonna... You are more likely to end up with stuff for a phobia you already have than one you do not. So, I wanted to do this before we jump into the arena, and we'll jump in and see. Because there was a small discussion either yesterday or offline about K9000 being a potential answer to turret phobies. So if that scenario comes up, where we see a turret, and it's a small map, I want to make sure to try and force K9000. I think most people got it squared away. Alright, so we're on Raining Worms. It got renamed. Fright Night's going to be insane? What makes you say that? I mean, I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a good time. So as much as I like this map, and this is going to sound like a weird statement, as much as I like this map, I hate it. I really tend to do very, very poorly on this map. Which is especially frustrating after the last game, because I absolutely should have won that game and just made a very boneheaded play. So if we lose this game, chat, speaking of appropriately handling tilt, I am going to do some game reviews if we lose this game. Pack opening later? No. I will be doing it tomorrow. I only open packs once a season, basically. I open them whenever the season rolls over. Sasquatch's stats and gameplay aren't out yet. Technically, they are. Somebody posted a screenshot of it in the main Discord. And the problem is that the game is still live. So, as in, it's an async game. Like, it's still going. So, we can't look at the live games. So, there is a screenshot also in my Discord. Because somebody had cross-posted it. Because I was going to add it to the Phobie Finder bot. But we don't have the stats. So... eventually, the team will give me the phobie cards, and I'll be able to do it, but at the moment, no dice. I mean, we knew what the ability was, or was going to be, based on... What do we do here? So if we go to 11, that leaves us with 9 keys, so we could... Sorry, I'm trying to calculate this turn and talk at the same time. Not really working out. Put you here. And then we can put... you here... I'm trying to threaten this murder wing without inflicting catastrophic damage on myself. This might scare them away enough. We can't actually threaten the murder wing now. I was going to put a cassowary here, because then the cassowary leap puts Gin Sting, but then I decided against it, and now this whole plan got thrown into the wood chipper. But yeah, Sasquatch, we knew at least the ability... as of the last patch, because the devs had noted that they patched a bug for it, and everybody naturally went, well, what's a Sasquatch? So, Sasquatch is a reskin of Yeti. Yeah, I expect a lot of them are going to be... Well, I mean, we've already seen the precedent for reskins, right? Like, it's just going to happen a lot. Because there's not much that... it alleviates a lot of strain on the team. And realistically, for Yeti and Sasquatch, it makes sense, like, lore-wise. They are similar mythological creatures, as far as I know. Somebody can correct me on the finer points of Bigfoot, Yeti, and Sasquatch, but my understanding is, at least at a very, very cursory level, that they are very similar monsters, or creatures, or whatever. So assuming that is the case, makes sense, right? Alright, so they banked to 8. It's a little concerning. A little bit concerning. So they can hit for 4. We'll say 9. It's rounding up, but 9 and 5 is 14. Okay. We should, air quotes, be able to punish this. You could go here, you could go there. I mean, we can't really punish this, but we can threaten some damage, I guess. I mean, I'm not judging it for being a reskin. I just thought it was going to be something new. I mean, that's reasonable, especially... I mean, I don't fault anybody for wanting new stuff. Of course, I want to see new stuff. I love the way what the Phobies art team has done across the board. So, whenever we can get new stuff from them, it's even more exciting. But, I get it. I get it. So, it's an insta-kill movable trap. I'm not sure, because I've only seen it in Spanish, so I don't know if the translation... how accurate it is, until I could see it in English so that I know exactly what the ability is. Because that does sound bonkers. Granted, it's a 5-key trap phobie, so a 5-key trap would probably... I know Spanish, that's why I understood. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, then we'll take your word for it. It's the opposite, DT, so have you seen the wording as well? Like, do they kill each other? Like, the Yeti and the target phobie both die? Or is it just, it pops a phobie, it reappears, and then it's over? I don't know how it works. If you end the turn on the same tile, it dies. Well, it is what? Like, what is the it? Is that... it's another repeller. We gotta move this. Wait, they're here. 1, 2, 3. They can't reach yet. We are gonna kill the cat. One, two, three. So they can boop here. Basically, I don't think the Jin Sting should die, but I'm not... Like, it should not affect the Jin Sting in any meaningful capacity with this. So, like, if we do this... 1, 2, 3... They can't reach. They can't reach. I'm definitely going to get something booped by the repeller and not realize that it's going to happen. Sasquatch dies. Okay. That's the bug they fixed. Now I got it. Sasquatch insta-dies. If they attack while invisible, it has more than double damage. It's vaguely explained. It can lead to misunderstanding. Gotcha. I mean, there's a few phobies that definitely took some... testing, we'll say, to figure out exactly how they function, so that's not out of the... Like, that's happened before, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm curious, does it have, like, restricted movement when it's invisible? Or does it just move normally? So you can get it set up and then it's just... Because I guess the trade-off is if your Sasquatch will insta-die and you just lose 5 keys, then you have to worry about, okay, the actual positioning of it. Early strategy against Sasquatch, bunch of 1-key phobies. I mean, that doesn't sound unreasonable. So we can't be any of these spaces because we can get hit by Rambolina. 1, 2, 3. So basically we have to be in, like, this line, or we risk getting booped. The alternative option is put a flyer here, which I think we're going to try and work on. I want to get Hevo online. Hold on. Where's Hevo going to go? I want the spider to be able to possibly swing through and yoink something. If Hevo goes here... We're going to try this. Hey, Drew, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I missed that earlier, but thank you. It was a while ago. So the issue here is, among other things, ill chomp action going. We're going to trade 1 keys a little bit, but we got to get a lot of value out of these high-cost units that we played. No, did you thank him? But I'm sure he appreciates you saying again. I don't think I missed it earlier, so no, I didn't. That's why I was saying thank you now. I wasn't looking at the feed. Which I need to take better care of. I need to pay more attention to. But today is an off day. It's just... It's a rough day. So this Gravedigger actually is going to present some challenges for us. The reason being is they can break this block and then position things more aggressively. They could also run through and block here, which would be super obnoxious. And there's really nothing we can do about it because they can swing up and kill it safely and then block anyway. So, like, I'd have to threaten with something meaningful. Or block with, like, put something meaningful here, because I can't just put the Contortio. And if I do that, then it likely dies. We're going to try and yoink the Hevo. And see what we can do. I don't think there's any value to this, but we'll see. Actually, we're going to do this.
I feel like we connected.
Is that worth it? Don't know, chat. Don't know. We're gonna get our own Ginsting booped off the face of the earth. Will we? I'm honestly unsure where the Ginsting will end up. I'm not even joking. I have legitimately no idea. We could put a Droney on this spot to prevent it. I don't know if that's actually what we want to do. So this is 780, 791. All right, chat, we're going full meme lord. The memes are on, chat. This is probably a huge mistake. We're doing this just because I legitimately don't know. So if they come in with Rambolina boop, and then they boop with the attractor. I don't know if the Gin Sting ends up in the pit. But they can't kill the Morty. So that means that I can actually get a hit in with the Morty. See, this is what I was thinking. So they boop there, it pushes the Gin Sting down here. Which means that the Gin Sting would have absolutely died. The angle that I was looking at it from was a different one, and I didn't know if it was actually going to kill it then, but clearly it's going to end up dead, as it is. And we traded Spider for Gin Sting, which is less than ideal. But their boop is down, one of them anyway. They still have 13 keys to R5, so us losing this is bad. Like, this is a big deal. Oh no, Repeller. Now, they are nicely clustered for Hevo. I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can get one more Phobie, so it's boss. Oh god, this is really bad. This is not good. This is, in fact, what I would call no bueno. You just got a Trojan head. Congratulations. I don't even have any idea why that happened.
Double damage on aisle 9.
So this is, we'll say 8, and 8 is 16. 21. This is actually a dead Hevo. Most likely. That doesn't actually accomplish anything. Mistakes. Mistakes! Should have banked the keys. Like, there was literally no purpose in doing this. Lippy cameo, unfortunately. We've had our talks about Lippy on many occasions as of late. So the only reason the Contortio made an appearance here is to try and entice them to do something else, but it actually doesn't matter. Oh no, your Fired is still on cooldown. Or warm-up, rather. Is it? No, it's active. Yep. Dead Evo. It might be okay if we can punish the boss, but I don't think we can. What's up with Lippy? He's annoying or something? I find him exceptionally irritating. Like, I've never liked Lippy. I know a lot of people love Lippy, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, and I'm happy for the people who like Lippy that Lippy got added, but I would if they add, and I've requested this, it's funny, I requested, can we get a way to mute Lippy? And like 20 people gave it a thumbs down in the suggestions channel. DT, like an hour later, said, hey, can we get a volume slider for Lippy? And like 20 people gave it a thumbs up, and it's like, you realize we're asking for the same thing, right? The same thing. I also haven't updated the starting MMR in a while. I keep forgetting to. I think I'm going to take that off, chat. I just don't see a point in having it there. I think it's funny to hate him. I guess. I mean, he's super annoying. The boop is live. The boop is live. We still have a big panic point advantage, and they have to advance into us. Maybe we didn't throw as bad as I thought. We probably did. This does like 500 damage, so hold on. If we meatball, do you live? Through a boss attack? We had to meatball anyway, right? 483. So boss will be here. We can't be here because we risk getting booped to death. And if we go here, boss and this could hit us. Or this could hit us. Both of them could hit us. Yeah, that's exactly it, Golden. Is like, I don't mind if people like Lippy. If you like Lippy, great. I'm happy that, and I think Lippy should have been added. It's way too cool of a thing to just have for the tutorial. But everybody has their preferences, as you're saying, so please give me a way to turn it off. Like, that's all I'm asking for. I don't think that that's unreasonable. So we can kill the repeller, which is kind of whatever at this stage. I almost feel like I need to swing and try and go heart. Yeah, they realized that I could have beezed there. Bees! When does this fire go away? Come on. My god, this fire is still here. Stop. So is the boss ability back up? Not yet. We might be okay, chat, but those are usually famous last words. 496, so 8, 9, 980. So 2 boss hits kills this, 2 hits from this kill this. I don't know, this is going to be close. I like Lippy, to be honest, but a dial would be nice, like a voice selector. Yeah, the reason the idea even came up for me on stream, I mean, aside from people just saying, wouldn't it be cool if, before it got implemented, I mean. But, in a lot of other games, I'm thinking namely like MOBAs and, maybe we should have hit boss instead. I don't know. But namely like MOBAs and RTSs, they have announcer packs. So the idea that you have an announcer is not unheard of or unreasonable for this stuff. So I like the idea. It's just, I would love if there was an alternative option so that you could turn it off. In general, I don't mind Lippy that much. It's a little annoying when I'm streaming and I'm trying to explain something and Lippy's yapping in the background that I have async games. Like, Lippy, I don't care right now. That's not the point. But, I don't mind it except when I'm already tilting. Lippy is super obnoxious. It's like the dog from Duck Hunt is what it feels like, even if that's not actually what it is. You know what I mean? Imagine Snoop Dogg commentary. That would actually be really cool. Yeah, you absolutely need to kill this thing and the Jin Sting. There's no reason to... Yeah. We're going to see if we can kill the boss, otherwise I'm probably going to swing towards the heart. So yes, the Jin Sting dies. The thing is I can't kill... We can't kill these two. What'd you miss, Taco? Not too much. Not too much. Me being really, really tired. I threw a game on Lights Out because I was talking to chat instead of paying attention to what I was doing. It's basically what it boiled down to. That's an older meme, but it checks out, player. We haven't had one of those in a while. Could have killed the 2? No, because the splash wouldn't have done enough to kill this. The splash wouldn't have done enough to kill this.
Anxiety is ready to claim that heart. What fear brings together, it also rips apart.
No game reviews yet, Taco. None yet. They have to choose which they're going after. Because they can't go after both. 2 attacks from Klepto, we weren't in range to do that. So the Klepto started the turn up here. I would have had to walk it into range and we would have only been able to hit it once. And the boss was body blocking for the Cyclops. Like, I think the Cyclops was here, so there was no way for me to get it to hit the Stairmaster. But we managed to pull it out, chat. The big egg throwing boy. You just destroyed on the new map? Nice. GG. We get there. Not the first game of the night, in fact, the second game of the night, but we got it. Klepto hitting boss twice for splash. Couldn't do it. Had to move into range. Assuming we're talking about the same turn, chat, like, I couldn't do it because the boss wasn't in range. Just skipping ahead so we can get to the... Assuming this is the same turn. Like, this is... They killed this in the Jin Sting, so I can't hit these things twice. Now, what I could have done instead, because I thought the Cyclops was back one, but we could have slid it to this spot and moved Klepto here to kill this, and the game would have been over faster. So we're here. I run this over here. They come up this way. Like, there was no point where I could have hit everything twice with anything. Now, I could have, like I said, done the other play, and it probably would have locked up the game there. I don't know if they had the AoE ability, but I knew that they were not going to be able to contest. And I had such an enormous life lead that, like, okay, if you come after Klepto, I'm going to recap the other points with Cyclops. And if you don't come after Klepto, I'm just going to kill the heart, was the plan. Still could have killed boss. I mean, maybe. But then I would have been in range of... Like, I would have taken damage because he's dimensional and been in range. It probably didn't matter no matter what. Like... I mean, it does matter the plays, so... I'm trying to think how to rephrase this. It doesn't matter, yes, because I won no matter what. But at the same time, it does matter choosing the optimal plays. Like, actually finding the optimal play is important in a win or a loss, regardless. It's crucial to be able to do that, because otherwise you're just not improving. There was a comment earlier about, you know, in order to improve, put yourself in your opponent's shoes. And yes, that's part of it. But it's not just that simple, because it's not a plain or linear comparison of what's the ideal play in this scenario. Well, you get the same amount, I think, Golden, depending on, like, regardless. Because the game gives you all the resources if you leave Phobies on the board and kill the heart or something like that, so it doesn't make a difference whether you kill it. Versatility is the word I was looking for? Not quite. Not quite. But, so, finding the optimal play in a given turn is not necessarily the optimal play in the short term, if that makes sense. So, putting yourself in your opponent's shoes of, I do A, therefore they're going to do B, isn't necessarily what they're going to do, partially because if they have keys remaining, the options just become enormous. Like, there's an enormous combination of different things your opponent can do. But, at the same time, the better players will set up for long-term plays. Like, 3 turns from now, the damage that they put on this phobie means that they one-shot it then. And as a result, they're able to make a push that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to do. So, yes, part of improving is saying, well, what can my opponent do on their next turn? But then the next step beyond that is not just what are they going to do on their next turn, it's what are they going to do on their turn after that? What am I going to do on the turn, 2 turns after them? That sort of thing, and trying to map it out. You can only do it so far reasonably, especially in Arena. But trying to, and this just comes with experience, is once you've seen a lot of scenarios, this is why practice matters in sports and other things. It's relieving parts of your brain from, I'm going to compare to football. The whole idea is you do these drills hours and hours and hours and hours working on footwork, hand placement, hip movement, shoulders, and all the body part stuff, so that way your body is just used to it, and it just does this by, muscle memory. That alleviates your brain or frees up your brain to start thinking about the other thing. So your body, just by rote muscle memory, does the thing. All right, now I can think about watching. Is somebody blitzing? Are they doing a stunt? Are they changing something else? Is this happening? Does my teammate need help because I need to roll off this block? Like, I just chip this guy and go help out somewhere else. Like, does the blocking scheme change because of this particular lineup? Blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. Exactly, Jenna. Lippy's got to shut up. And bringing it back to Phobies, it's the same sort of thing where once you've seen a lot of certain scenarios, so for example, the turret opener. The turret opener is super common. Once a common response to it has been identified and tested, everybody's just going to kind of, okay, my opponent opens stabby and bow mangles. I need to do this. And then you can start thinking about what's the next play. Because right now, if you don't know, the first thing in your head is, well, how the hell am I going to deal with this? You're not even worried about the next 3 or 4 phobies that your opponent is playing. You're worried about, I'm going to lose to these things now. And that's the difference. Once you've become accustomed to all of these plays, it's not just, well, my opponent is likely to do this. You know they're going to do this sort of thing. So they do tie together, but they're not quite the same. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Versatility through experience creates the realization of they could pull Snowball out and do this, or since I have Void, he may poison or curse, so I may need to do this. I see what you're getting at, Golden. Versatility isn't the word I was looking for, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, kind of, I guess I get you. It's not a really complex concept once you actually think about it. Like, it's not a difficult one, but it's something that people may not, because it comes up so slowly, as in you are just accruing the knowledge through osmosis by virtue of playing the games. If you're paying attention to the games, you're figuring this out as time goes on. Let's see. We're going to do an Onda replay. Skipping ahead a little bit because subscribers, if you want to get your own gameplays reviewed, if you want to get your own games reviewed, gameplays reviewed, that sounds, I mean, I guess that's not technically wrong, but anyway, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord in the video description if you're here on the live stream, ! Discord, and you can join in on the fun. So, we got, is this the right one? No, that says the 19th. I think Onda, the times are always messed up because I think it shows the date in your local time, because Onda has consistently been a day ahead on the game days played, which is just a quirk of the UI. But we got a little kaboom action, chat. Got a little kaboom action. We're going to be doing a few replays tonight. Like I said, I am tired, so we're going to try and get through a bunch of these. So we're on the floor is lava, which might be one of the most hated maps in the entire map pool across the community. Daily dose of kaboom. It's true. It's true. You get it in while you can, Jenna. So we got boom coming out early. Not the kaboom we're looking for, but it is a boom. And we have a canine. I was talking about that earlier. So cassowary, cat, stabby, speaking of turrets. This map does get very weird very fast. And a stabby or similar turret on the center points does tend to control a lot of the board. So we do get the boom protected for now. Replay's not letting me click on it. 266. So this is dead to a jar, but the jar will end up on the lava, which actually doesn't really matter because there's nothing that can reach it. Nothing can actually reach the jar. This is bold from Bad Guy, though. You love this map? I don't mind this map. It's a wildly different play pattern. The thing is that the games can end unsatisfactorily fast, I think is the problem, and why a lot of people don't like it. The reviews are posted in Discord. Well, that's where you go to post them. Yes, there is a new format for submitting them, Golden. But if you go into the game reviews channel, there's instructions there on how to do it. Basically, there's a Google Doc that I ask everybody to submit them to, so that way I can keep it in a spreadsheet and keep it organized. And that way people can go look and see, well, when did the review happen? You like the aggressiveness, I don't like the unbalance. I don't know if it's actually unbalanced. That's the thing. It feels that way because the game's very quickly, as compared to many other maps, maybe not even many at this stage, but there are maps where, yes, you need to make multiple mistakes or like a super egregious one. Oh, we got a cool play here, so I'll pause it. But the Floor is Lava is not one of those maps. You make a mistake and you basically lose, is kind of what it feels like. It's unbalanced as it gets. I would have to see some numbers for it, player, truthfully. Because realistically, and we've talked about this before, not you and me, but just in general, there's no other maps? Yeah, there are. There's at least two. Phobos is one of them. Pluto is arguably another. And there's probably at least one more. It's very difficult. I agree that player one can get a huge advantage on this map, but realistically, I'd have to see numbers because there's none of us can play or observe as many games as the whole community can play. It's just not possible. And only the devs can pull that back-end information. So, and we were talking about this a little bit last night. It's important to, you know what, I'll probably talk about this after the game because I feel like nobody watches, and if you're watching this, let me know in the comments if you actually watch the gameplay reviews, because I feel like nobody watches this part, and I end up mixing in a lot of discussions, and then it doesn't come back in. So the cool play that I was alluding to is we get the block here. It doesn't stop the Klepto, but it does lock off a bunch of these points, and we have a 4-1 or 5-1 panic point advantage hero with the kaboom finally coming in. See, but that's not necessarily unbalanced or even bad, player. And I'll explain that after the game, because I think this is a worthwhile discussion to have, and I'm not picking on you or something. I think it's just something interesting to talk about that's worthwhile. So, if anybody out there is curious where the kaboom play is going to come in, my money is on Gravedigger cracking open one of these things, and then kaboom getting in and annihilating a bunch of stuff. But in the meantime, like I said, 5-1 panic point advantage. We get the jar to start shelling things. Yes, they're breaking this down. But as we were discussing, this is a lot of heart damage very fast. The Murder Wing could hypothetically claim this point. 4 Phobies for our bad guy. So they can still field another one. Both 3 keys in the bank for both players. Both have 3 keys in the bank. How much HP does Kaboom has? This particular Kaboom has 508 because it's a level 10. 508 means it actually tanks a Klepto hit. Wow. Wow. Alright, so panic points get equalized. Panic points get equalized. And Bo Mangles is going to put in the work to take down the Bachelor. Since bad guy banked to 5, oh, baby, we got another DT special. It's the Misanthrope. Oh, chat. It's happening. Oh, no, it's not happening yet. It's not happening yet. I had visions of this Gravedigger coming down, breaking this open, and then annihilating these 3 Phobies. So the Misanthrope is going to take a beating. In fact, it's going to take enough of a beating to die. That's 3 keys. Up in smoke. It happens. Bank to 6 from our hero. Bank to 8 from bad guy. Probably only one more phobia out of our hero. I could see 2 coming out of our bad guy, hypothetically. Chat. Is this it? Get your clip buttons ready. Oh, it's happening. We gotta rewind this, chat. It's actually happening. Kaboom Plays. KaboomPlays.com. Onda, you need to get that domain because you'll love to see this. Get the Gravedigger break, little softening up of the stabby, and then kaboom, baby. Boom. Would you look at the fireworks? Misanthrope's entire job is to take a beating. True story. That's a lot of keys down. We get a fish tank out of bad guy. This is probably a dead Bowmangles. I imagine they wouldn't have done this otherwise. There we go. Yeah, get a little chomp action for that. Was this arena? I don't know. We can check. Those are the sort of plays that you can definitely catch people with where, you know, I guess technically it's obvious that that was going to happen, but like, come on. It's still difficult to see those sort of things coming sometimes. So we get the Jill and Ted combo. Obviously, Bowmangles went down. Kaboom did its thing. It's going to be Cowbell, Murderwing, and Fish Tank versus the remaining 4 phobies from our hero. This game technically isn't over. I mean, it's obviously not literally over, but the Fish Tank is going to take a lot of effort in order to burn down. That being said, Ted and Jill are very tanky. 1,000 health, 889 health. Actually, neither of them will die to a single Fish Tank hit, which is important because that means that you can't just pop it with Fish Tank and then like fly the Murderwing on and off. You need help. I'm a little surprised that Onda chose not to block in the Cowbell. I mean, it couldn't really go anywhere because it would have ended up like here and died anyway. But this means you're just eliminating things from your opponent's board. You're not in a big rush, and that's one thing that you do have to be careful of when you're playing Phobies, because I get caught in this trap all the time, is just being impatient and forcing things to happen. No one plays perfect. If they did, there would be no winners. Yes and no. Yes and no, because I think it's possible for, like, you could still have a quote-unquote perfect game and not end in a draw if you assume that there is an advantage for one player or the other. So we're talking about, say, this map. If first player has an advantage and both players play perfectly, first player could or possibly should still lose. So we have the Fish Tank. Both players have elected we're going in. 2870 to 4985. Patience is key, no pun intended. I mean, this is a lot of damage coming from this Fish Tank. Just like that, 2300 health. But remember, 4 to 2 panic point advantage. I imagine we're getting a dead bad guy here. Actually not, because there's more turns left. So bad guy must be just shy of actually finishing this game. Which has got to be a big feels bad moment.
Victory is almost ours. Smell their fear and watch them cower.
Chat, we have a new record. 37 health. That is a new record. The previous, I believe, was 50. The previous, I believe, was 50. 37's a new record, I think. Shout out to Onda, because that I would love to say that was calculated. If that was me, it's 100%, well, either I got this or I don't. There was no need for this. Literally no need. Wish you could have seen the 8 HP. I wish I could have too. And just like that, 6-0. GG. GG. Well played, Honda. Yeah, that is the record. That is the record. So, the discussion that was happening in the middle of the game, and if you're skipping ahead to the aftermath portion of the recordings, I know a lot of people do that just because they've said so, or that they enjoy the aftermath part. I hope you watch the game breakdowns, because often I weave the discussions in while, like, I'll pause the game in order to talk about something in the middle of the game. And I need to be better about putting it at the end so that way it makes it into this part. But until I start doing that, watch the whole video. Also, likes and subscribes help. Seriously, trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Working on it. If opponent won, it would have been 4 for a new record. True, 4 go. That thought did go through my head. The thought did go through my head. So. Oh, this sternum joke. That's not what I was looking for. So. Worst maps. Floor is lava versus, say, Pluto or Phobos. I am of the opinion it's Phobos. Other people have said floor is lava. Other people have said Pluto. Other people, I'm sure, have said other maps too. Here's the thing. I imagine all of us right now, maybe not in the minutia, but in the abstract, would probably agree that a map is bad if it heavily favors, because there's 2 ways that a map could be bad. One is it could heavily favor player 1 over player 2, or vice versa. How the latter would happen, I'm not sure, but let's say it's possible. If a map heavily favors one player over the other, that's bad, right? Because you zone into the map, and based on the coin flip, you are already at a disadvantage or an advantage. That, I mean, just inherently is bad, right? I don't think I really need to explain it, but just for the sake of elaborating on it, you want the plays to be, or the outcome of the game to be determined by the in-game plays. You want that, whether it's somebody made a cool play, somebody made a mistake, combination thereof, or ultimately there are collection differences, which that's just the way this game works, and there's nothing we're going to do about that. That's how the company makes money, so put that aside. Just don't even bother trying to fight that fight. You're not going to win. So, coin flips, bad. We have a very deterministic game. People are playing Phobies because of that. Otherwise, they'd be playing a card game, right? If they wanted more variance. And if they wanted more variance in the card game, shut up, Lippy. If they wanted more variance in the card game, they'd be playing a variety of dice or board games, right? The other way a map can be bad is play pattern. So, speaking about Floor's Lava, Pluto, Phobos, if you don't have very specific reactions to player 1, it can be very difficult, or even player 1 into player 2's plays, it's very difficult to dislodge things, because on Phobos and Pluto, respectively, you have that center stim, whereas on the Floor's Lava, it's very difficult to recapture some of those panic points, so you can jump out to an early advantage and then just bury somebody and force them into uncomfortable plays. It is entirely possible that all 3 of those maps are perfectly balanced. Are they? I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they are because I have no idea. But it is entirely possible that those maps are perfectly balanced and people just don't like them. And I'm throwing that out there, and I may do a separate video on this, but because it would basically be the balance video over again. But it boils down to this. If you don't like something, that's fine. You can want it to be changed. It may even be healthy for it to change because nobody likes it. Nobody. Of course, there's always going to be somebody that likes it, right? But it could be bad because it's a boring play pattern. It could be bad because the play pattern requires certain phobies, because that is the optimal way to address certain things or to play the map, and you just don't have them. Or if you have them, they're underleveled. Those are valid, reasonable arguments to dislike a map, want it to be changed, get it removed out of the pool, set it on fire, punt it into the stratosphere, whatever. It doesn't matter. However, here's the thing. If we're talking strictly balance, that's a different discussion. And the only people who can really say whether the map is balanced or not are people that have put in, obviously, a ton of games, ideally with mostly full collections. And then we can examine, did you make play errors? Is there something you could do differently? Or the devs who have, just by virtue of gazillions of games being played, can look at the aggregate and just say, okay, well, it's sum of all fears. On Floor is Lava, it's 51-49, and that's good enough. I think it's 55-45 in chess going first versus going second. So if you can beat that, it's already better.
How about that?
And then it's just on the players whether that's an acceptable... I hate that when I click through Lippy, he still keeps talking, just saying. But it's difficult to say otherwise. Floor's Lava is really bad with early panic point advantage. The player is more of a center control strategy, which is a long-term panic point advantage. Yeah. I don't think that's untrue. I lose trying to win in style. I just hate a boring fight. That's fair. Sometimes you can lead with a key advantage if they go crazy on panic points on the Floor's Lava. True, but that is a particular error that your opponent's making, which is no different than saying, well, if my opponent makes a bunch of mistakes, I'll win. I played almost 1,000. I'm not sure how many have played more. I don't know. I played about 1,000. But the thing is you don't need to necessarily, because here's the other part and why I was specifying, and I specifically called out sum of all fears. Because realistically, and this is not meant to be insulting, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you can roast me in the comments. I don't care. It helps my engagement, so like and subscribe. But I don't care about your games and strangers. Hypothetical you. And I'm not saying that to say you're not important. But, like, your games don't matter from a balance perspective for the most part. However, they do matter in the sense that if a phobie is just oppressive at low levels, low ranks, because of reasons, you can always say, well, get good. But that's not a great response. It's the same thing when you look at a MOBA. There are certain champions, certain heroes, certain whatever they're called in your MOBA of choice, that are oppressive, or strategies in an RTS, or decks in a card game that will just crap on new players because they don't have the skill set or the collections to compete against it. That goes away as you climb the ladder. But if you don't get them to climb the ladder, you don't get them to play the games to get the experience, it doesn't matter, because then the game, they just leave. So there are multiple masters to serve, so to speak. There are multiple goals to achieve to try and do this. So, and they are competing to some degree. And that's part of the problem. It's part of the challenge. So I think that at the end of the day, somebody wanted me to check Alien Engineers games. Oop. That's a lot of games. A lot of games, almost 3K games. But Alien Engineers pretty good at this game, I've heard. But all that being said, it boils down to things could be balanced and people not like them. Things could be imbalanced and people love them. It's probably easier in Phobies to determine which is which because of the way the game works. Say if you're playing a card game, the variance just plays in and certain matchups play in, so it changes the calculus. For Phobies, it's so deterministic that you can probably figure this stuff out. But somebody's got, and I've tried sitting and going through the games. I've asked the devs for, are you going to make an API? Is there an API? So that I can pull data about what are the Phobies that are doing well? When are they doing well? Those sort of things. It doesn't exist, and I don't get the sense, without, knowing for sure, that they are interested in doing something like that. So it's going to come down to somebody trolling through games and just recording them all, which right now, I can tell you from experience, is tedious. It's super duper tedious. At least in the format that I'm doing, because I had tried to break it down by this player played this phobie on this turn, and then all of their phobies. Then next turn, okay, their opponent did this on this turn, and all that. And going through and just stepping through each turn. If you just wanted to see every game with Ginsting, and figure out Ginsting's win rate among the top 10 players, you could probably just skim through their games, write down, yep, Ginsting, no ginsting. Ginsting, ginsting. No ginsting, ginsting. And then write down wins and then just calculate it fast, we'll say. I don't think it would be fast. I think it would still be exceptionally tedious. It would be way faster than what I'm doing. But my data is more comprehensive then, so that way I could try and calculate, okay, well, you know, Claus is using this particular phobie on the floor is lava every time and is just blowing people out with it. It's the like, what is the highest win rate phobie with the lowest appearance rate with at least 10 games? Something like that. Every game with Ginsting is literally every game. I imagine at the higher ranks, well, higher than whenever you get Ginsting, probably Morbid. I was just, because Ginsting was the first thing I thought of. You could insert arbitrary other phobie. But I imagine just about every game has Ginsting. Ginsting is such a cornerstone because it's so versatile. Favorite phobie profile picture. Mine's the blue alien, but I like Innocuous. Honestly, I'm not sure. I truly like this, the Ginsting. I think I'm the only person I've seen with Ginsting. I like my erratic one, but chat pushed me to get the Ginsting, so I got Ginsting. I think it would be easier to say like my least favorite ones, because most of them are pretty cool. Most of them are pretty cool. I'm scared of my life fighting a level 12 Grimes. I don't remember what level you're at, Taco, but Grimes is not... Well, I was going to say Grimes is not scary. It is scary, but it's not that good, I guess. That's not even true. It's a solid phobie, but it is overhyped. I think Grimes is overhyped. Mainly, I just did that to get on the friends list. Fair. Fair. Alright, chat. Let's take a look at... We're going to go into YouTube mode. Wasn't Taco a traitor? Taco was speaking ill of the lamb. It's true. Taco was speaking ill of the lamb, but I wasn't going to kick them out because we did rehabilitate them. However, and I also unlocked the brainwashing ritual, so they were going to be fine. But I can't do anything when they get possessed. Yeah, both Taco's characters made trouble. It's weird. Both of them caused trouble. It's like, Taco, come on, my man. What are you doing? So one other thing that we didn't talk about earlier that there was a comment made about, I want to say it was turrets, or no, it wasn't turrets. It was like 3 1-drops on Floor is Lava. I've mentioned this on many occasions, and I'm sure people will disagree. I know they will disagree because I have in the past. I don't care if there's only, quote-unquote, one strategy on a given map. Or if that's the optimal one, because there will become a meta of, I do A, so therefore you should respond B. But if you start doing that, then I need to do C, which leads to D, etc. And then things start slowly branching out from the initial core strategy. It also doesn't bother me doing the same thing game in and game out, as long as there is room to, quote-unquote, outplay somebody. I think, and this is an argument, sadly, in favor of the current leveling system. What I mean is, if you have a disparity in levels, even if I have the phobies to execute strategy A, I may not have them at the appropriate level, or you may not have the appropriate answers, but you vastly out-level me with something else, so it doesn't matter. Thereby introducing more options. I still am of the opinion that's not a good... like, I'd rather it not be there, but it does elongate the process where most people will not be in a position to say, yep, I'm going to only do the optimal plays, and it's going to be same thing, game in and game out, and everybody else screams because they are tired of seeing it. That likely won't happen for a while just because it can't. You know what I mean? Most people don't have all the phobies at the appropriate levels to do this. I assume it's the map rotation that he's screaming about. But yeah, I kind of want to do a video on that as well, chat. I just haven't, What the hell is this? Oh, sorry, I got a notification. I was trying to figure out what it was. It's something I want to do a separate video on, but I haven't, like, Haven't gotten around to it. There's a few of them that I've just been building up on the list to talk about these more esoteric topics. And I think that it's worthwhile to have these discussions and have it out there, because these are my same opinions basically about every game I played, because they are so universal. And I've had so many years of compounding and figuring out what these play patterns are and how I feel about them, that not much has changed. Not much has changed. So, anyway, we're going to do a taco game breakdown. It is this one. Almost lart? Wow, that's not a word. Almost lost a heart HP, but his biggest mistake was one movement Phobies. Sounds like a big mistake. Sounds like a big mistake, so we'll see. Our hero here is in the orange trunks. It's Tacobulldog. Tacobulldog's opening up with a fairly standard opener. Just to point out, bad guy went with snowball opener, which I really dislike on this map, which feels weird. It feels weird. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to... I haven't quite... Like, I have an idea of why, but it just doesn't quite work out the way I'd like. And speaking of... Bad guys going... one of the four horsemen here in Plague. That comment was from way earlier, DT. I think that was on the game I put up while I was BRB. So we got Microscopic and Gesundheit here. Jeeves is the follow-up from Taco, breaking even on the panic points for now. Until that happens. Germs, it's true. Icky germs. Somebody get the Clorox wipes. And a Quagmire follow-up. So this is actually going to be not a difficult, but an obnoxious position for Taco to try and reclaim. You need multiple one-drops. Hey, salesman, what's good? Played a couple games, doing some game reviews at the moment. Get some soap. Yep. Wash them hands. Get a Blinky follow-up. Get a Blinky follow-up, and then the inching up, the almost leapfrogging of the germs up north. We also had to... Oh, my God. Chad, it's your favorite and mine. It's bad sushi. Yeah, you also missed a few esoteric discussions, salesman. Quite literally a few. I think it might have actually been like 3. So we get the retreat from up north, which is going to be a little difficult because one of these germs is clearly going to cap the top. And we get Rocket Man. It's Team Mr. Freeze down here. Team Mr. Freeze down here. Yeah, they'll be in the video, obviously, when I put it up on YouTube, salesman. You can catch the VOD. I might break one of them out. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, why send the Gesundheit too? The Microscopic clearly does not need a bodyguard. And we get a Hevo 2.0. This is something that I really want for this map. It's not just that it's a range boop, it's a lob boop, so that way you can really get the boop landing where you want it to land. You have a takedown on Snowball. We're going to get a takedown on the cat, I imagine. This is weird. Like, I don't understand why they did this. Why did this happen? So you're in this position. You invade. I don't understand this. Like, why sacrifice these two for basically nothing? Now, this took a little bit of damage because it stood on the fire, but it's specifically so that way you can freeze this stuff. However, I think it's just going to die. The only thing I could think here is that there's a trap we can't see and bad guy is afraid of the trap, but otherwise you just go in and you boop and kill this. I guess Hevo probably dies as a result, though.
Oh, that will leave a mark.
There you go. Just like that, boop into oblivion. Bye-bye, Rocket Man. That's why Hevo's great on this map. Evo is huge on this map. Not that it's not good on other maps, but it's really strong on this map. Double freeze, though. Oh my god, chat. Even Bad Sushi is unhappy about this. Look at this face. Look at this face cringing. Hold on, we gotta do this. Oh no, it's gonna... There we go. This boop seems good. It seems good. You're gonna get the Rocket Man kill, which again, I still don't understand how boops work sometimes. But yeah, you get the Rocket Man kill here with the boop. Hold on. I want to clip this, so that's why I'm redoing it. Get the Rocket Man invade for the kill here, but it's not going to end well for bad guy here. Taco has a little bit of excitement in store. Get some damage going down on the Jeeves, but then Ouchtown, population, bad guy in mere moments. I want everybody out there that's watching to keep an eye on Bad Sushi's face, because the Bad Sushi face might make this. Like, the Bad Sushi face, when I paused it before with that weird cringe, was just hilarious. Jeeves gets the freeze. Like, this is brutal. Because these two are dead. 2 turns of just unimpeded laying into them? Luffy would be proud. Where's Luffy? Where is Luffy? That was a great play. I mean, I didn't realize that that you were able to get 2 traps set up. I expected the trap in the center, and I think that's what they were thinking as well, but that second trap was just crippling. Absolutely crippling. Like, that's ball game no matter what, right? I love Jeeves just like, it's no big deal. There are other things that happened in the meantime, like a misanthrope and a Gesundheit for our hero showed up, and, like, none of this is important to me. All I care about is that double freeze. The Cerberus follow-up is absolutely bad guy raising the white flag, because there's no reason to go Cerberus into Jeeves. As we saw many moons ago, we saw Jeeves perma-freeze a Cerberus. It was hysterical. Wait, was that another trap to freeze this again? Lol. Now, in the meantime, as pointed out in the notes, Hero here is taking a ton of damage. 1810, that's a lot of damage. I was about to ask, was the yoink necessary, but it probably was. Probably was. So this configuration means we now have panic point advantage, good guy, finally, as well as the fact that they are in position to light up or lay into the Cerberus when it shows up. Obviously, things are going to retreat by the time that the erratic and everything gets into range. Uh-oh, misanthrope damage. No! Even Bad Sushi gets to go off. Not like it really matters, but it does. It does, in fact, get to go off. This has to be a dead Cerberus. Nice. The bees. You love the bees. It took a lot of stuff in order to beat up this Cerberus, but it's going to. Unfortunately, and I would have rather seen the Gesundheit do it, because this means 2 hits are going to hit the jar. Look, none of this matters because it's Bad Sushi Bad Sushi, Erratic, and Misanthrope against the world. But this is some damage onto Phobies. Really? I guess you can't hit it, because so the spider was low enough that it didn't matter, because it died in 1 hit, so you couldn't get the double splash onto the jar, which may have been calculated by our hero here. Hey, Hondo, what's good? And now it's just dissecting what's left of bad guys' forces. Even get the sheep follow-up. There's nothing bad guy can do. 6 more turns of watching them dance around with Erratic, but this is well played. Sometimes Jeeves just takes over a game, right? Yeah, yours was the first one we did, Onda. You can go back, like, if you go into videos, Taco, you can watch the VOD right now. So whenever the commercials end, you can pull them back up. Although at this stage in the game, there's really no commentary to do. There's nothing else to say. The game was decided like 8 turns ago. Maybe more. It's just a matter of, I guess, capping the rest of the panic points and then pressuring the heart. Or the bad guy. So what I've been doing in these scenarios is, obviously I prefer to surrender, but I will send in all of my Phobies. In this case, it would be 1. I would send in the Erratic and just run it into the teeth of my opponent's team, so that way they can end the game more quickly. Because otherwise you're just kind of waiting around, right?
Oh, did you see those sparks fly?
It feels like the closest, we'll say, honorable thing to do. And there we go. The final beats go down onto Erratic and GG. A little hydrate action. Well played. I've heard that Jeeves phobia is pretty good. I've heard that Jeeves phobia is pretty good. I've heard some things. Bozo wants to play arena. Uh-oh, we're on Biff's room. All right, here we go. So I'd like to leave these in the recording, win or lose, because having the challenge the streamer thing, I think, will be fun. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come by the live stream, RTChompGG, if you want to come beat me in front of an audience, we'll say. So I think ultimately in the last game on this map, the Unbearable was not helping me. The Unbearable seemed to be a mistake. This is level 1. I think that's what Bozo said they wanted to do. Yep, level 1s. I should have done that, Jenna. I'll get him on the next one. I'll get him on the next one, just because we're already into the game. Feels like it's a little late. I think this is correct. So I wanted to try this out since we have a turret here. We'll see. We'll see how well this works. I can challenge you 10 times. Not in one night, you can't. Assuming the Twitch thing works. Getting a repositioning here makes sense. A little murder wing action. I don't like level 1 only fights, that's why I'm going to do a regular match. That's fair, Forgo. So we're doing this specifically because I want to try and test whether this works as an option or not. We're going to find out if it does. This may be terrible. This means even less time to farm the season rewards. I already have all mine, so... Gonna get a little leap action. I mean, you could kill it with a jar. That is a viable option as well. Microscopic, alright. Or not. Never mind. Is there any way to get this? No, there's no way we can get it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So they won't be able to kill this yet. This is a mistake, for the record. So, I probably should have banked, because there's no way that I can apply enough pressure to both of these phobies to actually get a kill. What's going to end up happening here is these two are going to hit this, and then a jar finishes the stabby, but I can't actually punish either of these right now. What's the damage difference between microscopic and the other one? Gesundheit? So, Gesundheit is at level 1, 500, and microscopic is... There it is. Couldn't see it for a second. 550. You get an extra 50 damage and an extra 250 health. Oh, that is enough damage to kill it. I don't know why I didn't think it was. That is a boom. What do we want to do here? What do we do? That is not what we want to do right now, I don't think. How much does Snowball do at this level? 420? It's a funny number. I don't think that's necessarily what we want, but I guess we bank. It probably would have been better to just straight up bank. Just don't blunder. Hakune, you're asking a lot. you do realize what channel this is, right, Hakune? I might as well rename it to RT Throws GG. So, chat, do people actually like the green screen? What do you think? Never got why 420 is funny. Can someone explain to me? I'm not sure if you're trolling, Jenna. It's the channel of hopes and dreams for my opponents, yeah. You're honestly asking? 420 is a reference to marijuana. I don't know explicitly what the origin is, but like April 20th is supposed to be like International Weed Day or something like that. But yeah, it's a pot reference. Watch, I get banned from YouTube when I leave this in. Does it have something to do with Pineapple Express? I'm pretty sure it predates that movie. Assuming you're talking about the movie. Nah, that's a different funny number, Jenna. That's a different funny number. Exactly. So we trade Castaway for Murder Wing and Boom. I think I'm okay with that. We do have to be a little careful because this thing is super fragile. No, that's fair, Jenna. That's fine. It's a fair question. I just wish I had more than jars of 3-range phobia. You just gotta level up there, Forgo. Just gotta level up. We'll do our parting shot here. So they can't kill Ginsting right now, and we'll obviously punish this. So we'll just bank. I think we're okay. We got 2 turrets set up. Maybe instead of Unbearable, I should be going for Innocuous on this map. I don't know. Isn't it unfair that Bozo can see where you place your traps? If Bozo's in the stream, honestly, if somebody's stream sniping when they're spending channel points to challenge me, you got me. Like, somebody could do that, yes. Are they gonna do that? Probably not. It would be beyond silly if they do. I don't know if this is enough damage, but I'm assuming that it is. I didn't actually... Okay, it's 400. I didn't look at how much damage the Innocuous... Oh my god, it's not enough damage. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? And we don't have bees. That's actually comical. We'd only get 20 more damage, so we weren't going to kill it, but that is super duper obnoxious, chat. Bozo is a man of integrity. I believe that everyone in my chat is a person of integrity. Savadas, what the hell is this copy pasta that's happening right now? Or are you copying, like, a Wikipedia entry? I can't tell. There's way too much text for me to figure that out right now. No, that's fair, Savadas. It's just way too much for me to look at right now. I'll look at it after the game. Yeah, I figured it was... At first I thought it was a copy pasta, but then I realized, no, that's not actually the case. There's probably a trap here, or I wouldn't be surprised to learn that there's a trap. But we're doing it anyway. There's something weird about seeing Ginsting do 370 damage. Real talk, it legitimately, in my head, screwed me up for a second, where I'm like, wait, my Ginsting isn't doing, like, 400 damage. What's happening? Oh, yeah. It obviously happened a lot quicker than that inside my brain, but you get the idea. Alright, Savadas, as mentioned, a person with honor, so they're not
I feel like
dragging this out unnecessarily. Or, did I say Savadas? I meant Bozo. I hope I said the right thing. GG. GG. Streamer wins game 1. Oh, wait, they still have a key left. They still have a key left. I was like, wait, why is the game not over? I mean, it's over, but, you know. Snoop Dogg lippy voiceover. A little chomp action. Challenger will be sacrificed? No, that's in the later... If we do Variety Savadas, you got to stick around for Cult of the Lamb. Then that's where people get sacrificed. It happens sometimes. In fact, we might have to do that tonight if I'm playing. I just left the game to join chat. Oh no, Bozo, you still have 1 key left. That's why the game didn't end. Are we going to play Cult of the Sheep and Gas? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how late it is. We'll see how late it is. Did anybody else put in a challenge? Or is it just Bozo so far? Looks like that's the only one. I'm trying to make sure we keep track. Have I died in the cult yet? I think you caused some serious problems. Taco died because he got possessed by one of the bosses. Okay, player. Oh, tomorrow night? Tomorrow night's my early night. Oh, I want to do this. I think the game just ends this turn. I should probably just hit end turn, right? Yeah, the cooldown I don't think is related to people. It's related to the person, like the individual who redeems it, I think. I could be wrong. Let me double check that, since we're obviously waiting on this. Oh no, I did put a 1-hour redemption time between. So that way people wouldn't spam it at me. Let me change that, because I think people will be good about it. We'll put it at 30 minutes. We can do like 1 challenge every half hour. It may be off cooldown again, Onda, because Bozo had done it while I was in the middle of another game. I don't remember, Salesman, but I know that Taco got possessed and I had to murder him. Like, the bad guy, one of the bosses, summoned him, possessed him, and sent him after me. So, unfortunately, down went Taco. Tomorrow you'll challenge me? Alright, Akune. Alright, so we did get another challenge. So go ahead and send me Renamon. Is that you, Forgo? I don't remember if that's your in-game name. Oh, we get the Russell avatar. Zoning it. You picked Exponential Decay because I always lose on this map, huh, Renamon? Or Forgo. Alright, we're going second. Which, by the way, Chad, if you want to do a challenge and you want me to go first instead, that's fine. Just, you know, let me know, and we'll set it up that way. It doesn't have to be used, because when you set up a game like this, it always forces the person who sends the challenge to go first. Like, whoever initiates the challenge. So, Challenger banked to 6. That's interesting. I'm a little concerned here, I'm not gonna lie. So, depending on what their follow-up is, they can probably kill the cat. I might be okay with that. Alright, Jenna, thanks for hanging out. So yeah, Chad, if people like the green screen, I've been debating investing in a good one that it can accordion out and actually collapse, so that way I don't, because the ones I had before, like this is one of those circular ones that goes on the back of my chair because it was on sale and super cheap when I got it. The other ones that I was looking at or that I had like kind of hang, and it's just huge because I have to have these 2 tripods and the crossbar and then a 16-foot green screen. It was just dumb. It was very silly. It probably is not worth going after this, truthfully. Because it's just going to die. It doesn't accomplish anything. Because they can kill it trivially and then recap with boom. Here we have a 2-to-1 panic point advantage. They have to do something. My game, I did level 1s because you having more levels, but level 1s were kind of boring. I like the level 1s, truthfully. It's just different. I think the level 1s are actually pretty cool. But I'm open for people doing whatever. I can absolutely understand why you had done it that way if I have way more stress levels, because otherwise it would be kind of silly as well. Definitely felt weird. I can see that. I can see that. So what do we want to do here? If they yoink with the spider, it's annoying, but it's not a big deal because the Hevo is not going to be able to put enough damage on it, and the boom can't connect. They could yoink the cat, which would probably be bad, but I also just don't want it to happen. We could go... I want to do a Rambolina or something at some point. We need to simultaneously get something threatening on the board and bank, which is clearly competing priorities. We'll just get this online. That unfortunately pushes our Booper out 2 turns unless I go Repeller, which we could try. Level 1 should be the most balanced stats since they're the starting ones. Whether they set it at level 1 or level 20, it wouldn't... I mean, they're scaling at the same rate. But yeah, that's part of the reason that I like it, is that it puts everything on equal footing. Now, there is rounding, so you can make an argument that level 20 is less balanced, but I really want to get Rambo. It seems like a solid phobia. I like Rambo, but... And I used to really like it on this map, but people play around it seemingly too easily. So we get follow-up tiny phobies, which makes sense. So that was the whole point, is that creep threatens this. This won't counter kill even if they stay, so that's fine. Still don't want to advance here with this. We could go Repeller, like I said. We're going to try it. People keep pushing me to use Repeller anyway. We'll try it out. But scaling may end up in rounding out some numbers like when talking about XP upgrade from stress level. Yeah, exactly, Akune. I did say that afterwards to correct the thought, because that is accurate, that the rounding on some of it could cause problems. Unfortunately, it's going to take 3 turns of this to kill it. Yeah, I've had Repeller for a while, DT. I've had Repeller for a while, I just don't use it. I don't actually like it that much. Well, I take that back. I got it just before Moai came out. Like, I got it at the end of last season. And Moai came in, I'm like, oh, it should be good here. And then it's just like, no, this never actually works out. So you move and yoink this, and then it does... We gotta move this, because I don't want it to get yoinked. They're gonna cap that on the bottom. We obviously want to preserve this, the poison there. So we have to be careful that it doesn't get hit. Or doesn't get a hit, rather. We're going to move this here, so that way if, like, this gets cute, we can hit it twice. I don't think the Jin Sting can die from any of this. I don't think there's any way you can yoink it. They could blow this up, which would be obnoxious, but, you know, it's just a 1 key. We'll let it go. I think we bank here. Do we? We're gonna bank. I don't know that I like this. There's an argument instead to put another damaging phobia on the board, so that way, if this happens, I can actually threaten some of this stuff. Actually, they may be able to kill this. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, because that can't hit. Yeah, the Hevo then can't hit. I don't know that I agree with this. I don't know what the hell this Murder Wing is doing either. Ray is a cute phobie. Is there a phobie that's not cute? Because there are phobies that are just hideous, right? But they are so ugly that it's endearing. That's a Graylien. So we have double yoinks. Flesh Crawler? It's still... I don't know if I would classify it as, like, cuddly, but... You could make an argument that it's still cute, I guess? Question mark? Do we need the body block? I kind of feel like we do. So that way our opponent has to make greater effort in order to get at the Jin Sting. This does allow them to preserve the Murder Wing, though. They could get the Klepto. There's a bunch of mean things they could do here. This is fine, I think. I wouldn't go that far, Okune. It's never out of the question. See, like, this is a cool play. I realized late in the turn, I was like, oh yeah, they can just get the Klepto instead, but it is what it is. And then whatever pops out of spawn can kill... Like, that's fine. Then you go Stairmaster. Or you do this. Yeah, this will kill it first. I kind of want Sock Acid. I would like it just as a 1 key. Like, that would be valuable. Down goes Klepto. Could we have gotten the Contortio to block? Because Contortio was here. It would have been 1, 2... We could have put this here. We would have lost either one. You know, they would have gone for the Jin Sting instead. But it would have been better to save the Klepto for obvious reasons. Graylien for Klepto is a key positive trade, is it? It is 7. Hold on. No, game! We're gonna run out of time because I'm derping around. I'm trying to do this without something ending up in the fire. This actually doesn't matter. They can't touch that. So the pull is down, so that's why I'm okay leaving this stuff. Sacking a 7 for a 6 is positive. It depends on the scenario, but if you're talking sheer numbers, I assume that was in my comment about where I was questioning whether it was okay. I mean, the Graylien did what it needed to do, so the question is, was the Klepto specifically worth it? If we're talking sheer numbers, which I don't think is... It is a valid metric. It is not the only metric. For obvious reasons, there are times where investing, like sacrificing your 9 key for less than 9 keys is worth it if it results in a W, right? It is a cool play, too. I was assuming when Rockswan said Graylien for Klepto positive key trade, it was for me. So far from my season packs, I've gotten Rocket Man and Microscopic. Rocket Man's pretty solid. Rocket Man's definitely fun. Would have been a cool thing on Evo 3.0. I mean, yes, but I don't think there hasn't been enough damage on the board, I think, at any stage for our opponent to actually do that. Is there any way for them to boop this? We're just going to leave it here. I was trying to see if there was a way for them to boop this in a problematic way, but we're just going to do this. I think this is fine. You'd have to come in, like, here and then yoink it to the center. You don't have enough damage for that to matter. Just Finnegan and push into the Abyss. That's what I was worried about, because I was thinking about repositioning the Hevo, but I think we're okay. For now, anyway. I've thrown a lot of games. Everybody's seen it. Thrown a lot of games. But yeah, this game, the first challenge was all level 1s. This one is not all level 1s. So, chat, you'll have to let me know both for points and for the cooldown whether you think this is okay. Should we change it? Should it be something else? Because I think this will be fun to do for the stream. I think that it's... I don't want to be doing it like have back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back challenges kind of thing, because that's just going to tie up a lot of stream time. Which isn't the end of the world, but it's also not necessarily ideal. I think around 3 per stream would be fine. That's probably true. This means the murder wing gets poisoned, but I almost don't care. We could do this, like send the Hevo to protect it. Do we care about that? Come on. You definitely happen. Yeah, you can't reach. If we move up, you have to go like here and you yoink to here. And that's kind of meaningless. 1, 2, 3. You could hit with Hevo and this, so it'd be 3, 7, 8, 9. Actually, that's potentially lethal, because this thing's made of freaking paper. But that means the spider, all of these are clustered. It's probably worth it, because we'll just Hevo things to death. Possibly. This might be a waste, but getting the spider off the board would be valuable. Contortio's dancing around the map, it's true. Haven't taken a break in a while, Chad. Running out of water. So the other challenge with this is I do want to try and make sure that I hit gold packs each season, or make an effort to. But if I'm doing a bunch of challenges on stream, it could cut down on the amount of arena. So again, chat, you and anybody out there watching this on YouTube, let me know whether you prefer watching this, or does it matter if games are played. I know a lot of people say that they just kind of hang out for the discussions. So if it's me just rambling about various topics, I think there's a lot less pressure in this sort of game than it is for ladder. Not that there's a whole lot of pressure, but like if I lose to a viewer, it's like, okay, well, I win either way, because grats viewer. I figured this was going to happen. But this game is going to end before this poison ticks out, I think. And obviously, then they need this damage in order to try and kill with the pull if they were going to go for it. That's a Grimes. It's not a Grimes. Does Contortio have eyes? These are the important questions, chat. Game? It's not quite enough. I don't think there's any way they can pull this to make me regret it. I think. Those are usually famous last words, but we'll see. Or you can dedicate one stream per week on mostly reviews, one on mostly challenges and fun stuff like memes or similar, and the other days on some grinding. So the problem with that is I think it's better to mix it up, both for the YouTube videos and for... Because I have thought about that, Akune, truthfully. Tons of streamers have day play with viewers or sub. The play with viewers or subs, I think, is something that's going to happen, but likely not for Phobies. As in, it would be like, hey, we'll get all the subs together and we'll stream playing Among Us. We'll stream playing Apex, we'll stream Hunt, you know, something like that. Because there have been multiple people who've come in and said they wanted to do stuff, and I would like to, I'm just not in a position to right now. I also don't know, I don't know, I have to think about it. I like mixing it up so that way I don't have, because it's very easy to have the scenario of, I'm going to do all reviews this day, and somebody who says, I don't like watching the reviews, straight up doesn't show up. That's the big thing. Oh yeah, I'm by all means, keep suggesting the ideas. I'm not trying to crap on it, because like I said, I've thought about it myself as well. But the concern would be, say I do a whole night of reviews, because I've done that before, essentially, and people don't like reviews. Guess what? They're out. Same with the YouTube video. And similar for if people it turns out people don't like watching me play against viewers. Okay, I do a whole night of that and nobody wants to watch it. That may not be the case. It may not actually be a problem, but these are the things I have to consider just from a content perspective. Realistically, it's not a big deal either way. You know, one video, one night, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't, like, matter. I would do this if I wanted to be more aggressive, but we're not, like, we're not gaining anything by doing this, so we're not gonna put ourselves in a position to throw. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19. They could kill this. They could kill it there because they'd move up, yoink, double hit with Hevo, hit with the Finnegan, snowball, and then Droney, something like that. Yeah, I think that's the case, Honda. Kune's confirming. Buzzswole is a scam? Is it really that bad? They just had Pokemon Worlds. I was watching a bunch of the TCG. No Mew in the top 4, which is honestly not surprising. It was like all Arceus, Palkia, a couple Mew, or a Mew, maybe 2, and then a random, like, the Flying Pikachu thing, which was showing around, because I think that's just like an anti-meta deck, as in it hunts either Palkia or Arceus, I'm not sure. Regardless, it didn't matter. The top 4 was like 3 Arceus and a Palkia. Which is funny that, given how much draw Mew Genesect has, and the explosiveness, like, I watched one game, and the guy had exactly the hands I always have when I play. His whole gimmick is killing people, but does horrible damage, is super weak, so he's supposed to be an assassin finisher that can't quite do it, is what you're saying?
Taught and retaught as sure as torture. Those that fear you make you stronger.
We may not have enough damage, but we should. Game? No, I'm trying. How many times, game? I don't know if that really matters, but we're doing it. Well, they all cost that, don't they, Taco? To start? Like I said, it was GG. You are pretty good at calling the game, Sakune. I will say that. I usually joke about it because I've thrown so many games. I mean, I say it all the time. But I've thrown a ton of games, especially when I'm streaming, so... Oh, there goes Contortio. Pew! Okay, Taco. I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew they had different costs, but I thought they were all of that when they first come out. Wait, hold on. Oh, we can just kill the heart. This will be faster. Not trying to drag things out. GG! GG! Challenger number 2 goes down. Don't worry, I'll end up losing a lot of these, but GG, well played. Alright, chat, I'm back. I am back. So, I didn't mention this earlier. break the green screen effect for a minute. I did buy a new toy. I got the Baroness. Specifically the Walmart version, so it comes on this card instead of in a box like the other G.I. Joe classified figures. Like, speaking of Baroness, we'll go with her boyfriend here, Destro. This is Profit Director Destro, but as you can see, it's more like Pimp Daddy Destro. Comes with a leopard cape and everything, and then he's burning money, and he's all gold chromed. But I picked up the Baroness because I wanted to get a Baroness figure. And this is supposed to be pretty good. I'm not sure I'm sold on the face sculpt yet, because it looks kind of weird to me, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to open it up. I haven't had the chance. I haven't even opened up Kintaro, which I talked about before on stream, and I showed it. It's behind me right now. I have some ideas for pictures I want to set up, but right now I haven't opened them up because I'm kind of been all in on doing some Predator-related shoots because I watched Prey recently, and the movie's great. There's a lot of people, shocker, bitching online that the movie's not good, and I don't know what movie they were watching, but it wasn't the one I watched. Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite Pokemon salesman. I used to always say Gengar, but now it's Mimikyu. My Hevo 3.0 and Pterodactyl hardest things to deal with? I would imagine. Hevo 3.0 can be a terror. Nose is very itchy. I don't think so, Savadas. I've heard of it. I'm Googling it real quick. No. I have not. I've definitely heard of it, like, had people mention it. They like Prey a lot. I thought Prey was great. I watched it in the Comanche dub. I haven't watched it in English yet. I will watch it again. I thought everything about it was really cool. There are things that I didn't like, but I think they're fine in general. For example, I like the more classic Predator look. I think the mask was fine for the Feral Predator. I did not like how the Predator looked underneath the mask. But if that was the first Predator, and then we got, like, Arnold Predator in this one, it probably would have been reversed. It's just because I'm used to the way they usually look. I sound just like them. But it's... The complaints that people had, without going too far into it, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, and I think a lot of the arguments are dumb, is that the arguments are dumb. Like, they don't have a valid complaint. It's just like, I don't like it, so it's bad. It's like, no, you're a dummy. Like, something can be bad and you can like it. Something could be good and you don't like it. And obviously the reverse. It's the same thing with games, same things with media, and it's fine for it to be a little different. And I've seen movies that, for example, like the Mad Max movie from, well, now like 5 or 6 years ago, however long it was, that movie was terrible. Everybody loved it, and my wife and I went to see it because everybody's swearing up and down that it was awesome, and I'm like, I have literally no idea what's happening in any part of this movie, partially because the sound was, like, put together as a movie, it was terrible, because I couldn't understand a single thing that was being said by any character. I needed subtitles the whole time. That was the first movie I remember seeing, I guess, that started the modern era of you can't understand any of the dialogue. Now, a lot of people I saw were saying, oh, well, you don't need the dialogue in a Mad Max movie, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what the hell this is about, so I'd like to know what the hell is happening, as opposed to them just wandering in the desert. It feels like the joke from Jay and Silent Bob's Strike Back, where they're arguing with the one guy about which is better, the Lord of the Rings trilogy or Star Wars, and then Randall is just making fun of Lord of the Rings, because it's like, it's 3 movies of just them walking. That's what it felt like with Mad Max. Like, I don't know what's happening. My wife and I both hated that movie. To the point where I legitimately, this is going to sound weird, I hated that movie so much that I want to watch it again, because there is no world in which I could have hated it that much and not missed something. Yeah, Fury Road. So I remember parts of the old Mad Max movies, but I would have seen them like 20 years ago. Something like that. I don't remember when they came out. But yeah, I hated that movie so much that I want to watch it again. Because I feel like I had to have missed something, and maybe it's just the theater I was in. Maybe it was just the time of day because I was in a bad mood or something. I don't know, but it was just so bad that I have to watch it again at some point, and odds are it'll never happen. Or it'll be like 20 years from now. But, like, I need to give it another chance, because there are bad movies, you know, or shows or games, you experience them and you're like, no, that was bad. I've had enough. But Fury Road was just so popular that it's like, am I missing something? So I want to go back and watch it again. You're being willing to give it another chance is dope. The thing is like, it's one of those that, I mean, I'm repeating it 9 times, so I apologize, everybody. But there are times where I'll say, no, I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to be bothered with Thing anymore because I know that it's terrible. But I feel like there's something, everything going into the movie, I'm like, I am so excited for this movie. Everybody says it's awesome. I personally love post-apocalyptic things. This is a unique take on it. I had heard ahead of time that Mad Max isn't actually the main character. It's going to be, what's her name's character? I can't think of her name. And it's like, okay, so we have, you know, a female lead that's going to be kicking ass, and like, I don't know, it just didn't click at all. So at some point I will watch it again, but it just didn't work. Even if I booped your Evo 3.0, I still don't think I would win. It would have depended. You needed the spider to do something, but you didn't really. So this is real talk, Forgo. So in this game, because I've run into this scenario a lot, you have to obviously get value for the spider, right? Duh. Very, very axiomatic statement. But you need the follow-up to ensure that you get the value. And that's this challenge that I've found with spider a lot, where you deploy a spider, and it's like, okay, great, I got a spider, I'm going to threaten a yoink. And then the other player's like, okay, yoink my stuff, there's nothing you can do. And you go, oh. Uh-oh. And it kind of felt like that. Past a certain point, that was the scenario you were in, where I had board advantage, so you had to advance into me, and if you didn't at some point, obviously I win the game long term, but you had to do something, and you couldn't really threaten a yoink at any point because I just was already entrenched, and even if you did yoink something, it wouldn't die, for the most part. Until that Klepto. Which I could have offered up the Jin Sting instead, and I just realized it too late. I don't have strong feelings about the movie, but sometimes I won't watch something for a long time because everybody around me is raving about it, so I don't have all the comments in my head when I do end up watching. Honestly, I end up spoiling myself. My wife hates it. We've watched shows or movies before, and I will go read the synopsis and all the reviews, and I know the entire movie inside and out before I go in. And even if I don't say anything, she hates it. Like, she knows when I've done it, because obviously we've known each other for a while. She knows, and she hates it. Like, she loses it. She gets real upset about it. So, are we doing pack pulls tomorrow? Yes, salesman. End of season, I will do them then. What are we talking about when we went to the bathroom? We started talking about movies, and then it just kind of, like, spiraled from there. Well, I was talking about toys to begin with, and then it somehow got into movies. But I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV. For lack of a better way to put it, we'll call TV and movies passive entertainment, because you're not really, like, you can engage with it, you can get involved with it, but I don't typically like that. I prefer games. I prefer being more directly involved in the media. So when I do take time to do it, I have to already be invested, so that's why I usually spoil myself on things, because I want to know. And I don't really care about the big reveal. I just want to know the thing, which is a very weird thing for me personally, that I just don't care about, oh, there's a big twist, like The Sixth Sense, spoiler alert, there's a big plot twist in it. If somebody had told me that ahead of time, I still would have, and I don't remember if I knew. I think I knew going into the first time I saw it. Like, it clearly would have had a different impact, but I think it would have had, scope-wise, the same impact. I read much more than I watch TV and movies. I play more games than either, but it would probably be reading, although admittedly lately it's been a lot of comic books. I have 2 novels, well, 1 anthology and a novel that I want to read that are sitting on my nightstand, and I just have to do it, kind of thing. But I play more games, and obviously a lot of stuff is tied up with the stream. I recently read a Batman comic that had a bunch of comics in it. They were all connected. It's called Batman Nightfall. That sounds familiar. I don't read, like, the comics I read, the ones I'm reading literally right now are G.I. Joe. I'm reading G.I. Joe. The new Predator comic came out, because now Predator and Alien are owned by Disney. So, well, they're owned by Marvel, the rights, so then by extension Disney, although I think Disney owns the movie rights also. So the new Predator one came out. I read the new Alien ones a while back, and they were pretty good. They were interesting. I'm very curious to see how the Predator ones go. See if they, like, remake the world. Okay, so there are two of these. Big She 814. So they have these two is the same person. But we'll zone in on this one. So this says Frenemies Arena match. The interesting part is at the end, but in general, a very cool battle. All right, let's see how cool this battle is. No problem, Savadas. Not a problem. So we're zoning into Moai, which, as mentioned before on many occasions, I am not a fan of as of late. I like it better than some of the other... Well, I like it better than Phobos. We'll put it that way. I don't think I like it more than Pluto. But our hero here is Big She in the orange trunk, starting off with a Snowball. I usually send Snowball north, but either way, you're going to get both of these panic points. And bad guy here in the blue trunks leads off with a Pterodactyl. This is probably not punishable. Well, hold on. This is 1600. Oh, because they're at level 1. So this is a level... Was that in the notes? I feel like that was in the notes and I didn't say that. Now, it just says Frenemies Arena, but this is Frenemies Arena at all level 1. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a really low-level Pterodactyl. This should die. So you can represent 400 here. You had 7 keys. So if you went Stairmaster, it'd be 400 plus... I don't know what Stairmaster does at level 1, so let's say 5. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you have 2 keys left over. Yeah, you probably can't kill it with as it is right now. So I can respect the poison. I'm not super sold on it. I don't think poison is a great answer to Pterodactyl. Disease is obviously better, or you need poison that does more damage than this. This is bold, though, because while you heal the full, it's going to drop you down to 1400. This is half your health right here with the Hevo. So 14, then you take another 7, you're at 7, so then 300. Big She only has 5 keys, though, so I think this is a bet on the idea that Big She can't muster enough damage to kill it and actually stand on it, because this can't reach. The thing is with Pterodactyl, though, softening it up is important, because if you soften it up, that allows you to take it down later for obvious reasons. Yeah, so 450 here. So we'll say 870. 15. It would have been close, but not enough. Close, but not quite enough. So now we get to retreat, because obviously the Pterodactyl absolutely will not survive this. This is a pretty defensive posture from Big She, by the way, which I can understand, because we are getting an invade here, but the damage on the Pterodactyl means that it can't really commit on this push if it happens. The reason being is this thing's going to be at, 300 or 400 health by the time it moves in here. Now, I could slide here and hit or something like that, but it may end up having to stand on one of these, hovering over it, and then it just dies, which clearly no bueno. If you are the Pterodactyl player, that is. Ooh, we get a Scritch. I have to wonder if the defense on Moai, because this is something, since we were talking about learning earlier. I do too, Onda. I'm very curious. So, Scritch and Gonzo Bonzo could be really good on defense here, because they can hang out in the back and still juice something if you need to, and then just allows for additional takedowns. But in the meantime, we're getting a spider out of the bad guy to supplement their forces. A little bit of a retreat because, you know, you can't really push into this, given that the pterodactyl is so damaged. If the pterodactyl was less damaged, I could actually see the push continuing. Or if the pterodactyl wasn't poisoned, just so that that way it's not as likely to die. But as it stands, it is, so guess what? It ain't happening. Now, we're going to get the battle of the one-key trades here. There are some, well, I was going to say there are some yoink possibilities, but that's no longer the case. Obviously, cat goes down. We'll get a replacement. The spider is repositioning. Oh, okay. I was going to say, if that Klepto hits, that's going to be a lot of damage going on down on this Klepto. It probably dies, actually. Because you could juice, hit it twice, move up, yoink, and then... Well, you don't even have to yoink, but you could if you needed to, and then hit it with a meatball. Or you could hit it with a fireball. Like, that was absolutely a dead Klepto. We, in fact, do get Cerberus. Imagine a Phobie that could clone another Phobie, but it would have level 1 stats and be an ultra rare. There have been a couple clone-related ideas. So we do get the yoink anyway. Oh, yeah, this is a dead Klepto. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was like, this Klepto is not going to live, is it? Don't worry. Don't worry. Why don't I use my Scritch since it's a valuable Phobie threatening other Phobies? I think I've literally only used Scritch once, so at this point it's kind of like, I'm too embarrassed to use it. Not quite, but like, it does feel weird to use it. So that yoink was actually huge, the yoink there on the Klepto. We're going to get a dead Hevo. So it's Klepto for Hevo, which is fine, I guess. The issue here is that both Murderwing and Snowball are on cooldown. They'll be back in a moment. But you don't really have a big heavy hitter anymore. Not that Hevo was all that much of a heavy hitter, but you don't have something to really burn down the Cerberus, which is at 3k health. That's a lot. That's a lot of health. In case you haven't noticed, that's a lot of health. Now, since the pull is down, we do have Klepto. This will allow for either a yoink onto the Cerberus if it chooses not to go in, or of course it could be in position to just get wailed on. This presumably is enough damage to kill the Cerberus. 400 plus 3, so 14, 18. If it were here, then it would be 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, plus a fireball. It'll be a dead Cerberus if it goes in. It'll get complicated depending on where the positioning is. Oh, that's a dead Cerberus. It should be a dead Cerberus. It's possible that Big She doesn't see how to get it done, but I have to imagine that they're going to. Cerberus is one of those Phobies that I want to both acquire and... Well, I have a Cerberus, I think, but I've never used it because there never seems to be a good situation for it. Okay, so we're going for the jar. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? They might not have enough damage. Big She might not have enough damage. The reason being is that the Cerberus actually body blocked the Scritch, so it didn't have line of sight to power up the Klepto. So instead, Jar goes down, we get a retreat, but this Cerberus is on, like, right on the heart, and it still does 1,000 damage at a clip. Get the yoink on... I don't know about this one. So the yoink goes down here in order to get the snowball. You could have yoinked their spider instead. Your spider probably dies as a result, but eliminating both spiders feels like it would be a better option. Either way, the spider body blocks for the Cerberus. This is getting real dicey for our hero all of a sudden. There are some mean plays that could happen because you have stuff that's lurking around a pit, but you can't... Wait, is Yoink back online? Not yet. Yoink is not back online, and You can't just pop out, say, a tractor and yoink everything. But regardless, this is getting kind of messy. You have to deal with the Cerberus soon. 2100 health still. You do have a lot of damage. I mean, it's been taking damage from the splash. You got Jar in range. You're going to have Gesundheit. You got Scritch. But look at the heart health. 4k to 56. Cerberus is going to get yoinked. It will. If it stays here, it's going to get yoinked. It's not even a really complex yoink to make happen either. Now, bad guy did have a panic point advantage briefly. That's no longer the case. Now, okay, so bad guy does recognize the yoink play that was getting set up here. This is still a lot of heart damage. 1975. Panic point advantage, bad guy. Not for much longer, but here, the yoink is going to happen anyway, unless... Yeah, we get the boop north. And then... Bye-bye, puppy. And just like that, bad guy is down to merely Murder Wing and Stabby. Not quite enough to finish this heart. It's close, but not quite enough. Oh no, you even get the body block. This is a good play by Big She. Get the body block so that way you can't actually connect with the heart. And just like that, ball game. GG. Well played, Big She. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Did ultimately get the yoink, despite the best efforts of the bad guy to reposition. Would it have mattered if they stayed? They would have gotten a one more 1,000 hit, but that wouldn't have done anything ultimately. It wouldn't have done anything ultimately because you end up... clearly it dies one turn faster, and then you still get the body block. So, doesn't actually matter. Could have stopped the yoink if you pushed the spider with the shark. Yes. Yes. There were a couple different things that I think should have gone differently from bad guy, but that was pretty cool. And it's good to see arena frenemies happening and level 1, because those are features that I really think are important, and I hope more people utilize. I mean, we're going to be utilizing it for Fright Night, of course, but I'm hoping more people use it in general games. What if there was a phobie that could travel from a pit to a different pit near it? I could see it being like a sandworm type phobie. But then, can it only move in pits? Because then it could literally not be used on certain maps, which honestly, the way Phobies works, that might not be terrible. But then it would have to be so good on those maps that it would feel oppressive. That was something we were talking about the other night, that when you have these niche or fringe phobies, it just feels like... You can't make them too binary, where they're busted on in one scenario and then crap in another. You want things to be slightly better or worse, but if it goes too far, then it just makes the game not fun. We'll see. I only got to do 2 more reviews tomorrow. We should be able to squeeze it in, because we're going to be doing a big pack opening. So we should be able to do 2 reviews, so that way I can keep the rolling videos going. But that is going to do it for the Phobies section. If you're interested in seeing Phobies live, come by the live stream, RTChompGG, over on Twitch, which is where all of these videos are coming from. If you want to talk Phobies or join Fright Night, hit up the Randoms Thoughts Discord in the description. That's also where you can submit your games for review, as we typically do on the stream. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get more of those likes and subscribes and people in the Discord or on the live stream, because I have a bunch of goals, including 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully we can get there. We'll see how it goes. But for now, that's going to do it. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and Black Lives Matter.